Hey guys, welcome to another video of Black Desert Academy. Today we're going to be talking about processing. Just for the people who are possibly completely new to the game, I'm just going to address what processing is. Processing is the ability to transform your items from the raw base state to a new state using various methods. For example, you can take ore and you can heat it and turn it into melted shards, or you can take wood and chop it and turn it into planks. So this is a good example, like chopping, heating, shaking, grinding. These are all different things you could do to transform different materials into different forms, thus making it either more valuable or just more useful in general. Okay, so this is still Black Desert Academy, so once again it's going to be leaning towards AFK money making and general guides for making decent amounts of silver. I don't process heavily. I just want to put that out there. I do not process heavily, so I will not consider myself a process expert, but I do feel like I have some tips to give people who are into the are interested in processing. So first I want to start off with is that leveling processing is a must. I do recommend you to get to at least Pro 10 in processing before you even think of it as a money making method, just so you get a nice return on your procs on when you do turn materials into other forms. I'm not saying to stop at Pro 10 though. This is something that just helps you get special procs, which allows you to skip stages. Of certain materials once you reach Pro 10. There are other bonuses of going beyond Pro 10, like higher levels of procs or unlocking new number of possibilities as procs at later stages. For example, pure iron crystals, as you see here, when you melt these you need ingots plus this material called metal solvents, and you can only get 1 or 2 procs from this if you are below Artisan 10 processing. So once you reach Artisan 10 processing, you can get 3 of these in one stage of procking. I'm going to give you guys an example of how you make silver processing. So let's just take some zinc out and use it as an example. Okay, so we're going to take some zinc ore and let's see how much money worth the zinc. Right now zinc is going for, I would say, roughly $1,000 per zinc. So let's take out $20,000 worth of zinc. Okay, so we're going to take $20,000 worth of zinc. I'm going to press L to open this processing UI. Now zinc is an ore, and like all ores they can be heated, so you press the heating option and you click on the zinc. Whenever you click any type of option for processing, the items that are processable tongue-tied, processable for this option will be lit up in your inventory, like so. So now I'm going to hit the start button and see what we get. So once again, a recap, we are doing 20k worth of zinc, and we're going to show how the profit is made using processing. So far we got 7 melted zinc shards so far. It takes about a loop of 6 to 10 seconds to for a processing proc to go through. Different items take different amounts of time to process, so please keep that in mind. Also, your success rate of each proc in that loop is dependent on your skill level, your items that you wear to affect it, your food, as well as your costume. Okay, now that we're all done, the 20k worth of zinc is now 14 pieces of zinc shards. Now let's see what I was talking about earlier. So now let's say let's say that the zinc is worth 3k, which it is, but I'm rounding down because I rounded down for the ore. So the zinc shards are worth 3k a pop, okay? And we're going to multiply that by the 14 shards that we created using the 20 ore. So 3,000 times 14 will leave us with about 42. Okay, so about approximately 42k worth of zinc shards, and with only 20k investment. So I literally doubled the amount of money I made by heating that. So in that small amount of time, I made about 22k. So you guys can get the gist of how money making with processing works. Now I got really good procs, don't get me wrong. I got 4, 3, 3, 4. That's really high. But when you're just starting off processing, you're going to see a lot of 1s and 2s and 3s. And as you level it up, the RNG starts to scale more and more on the higher side in your favor. I am currently a master level processor, and sorry, I had to laugh at that. I'm currently a master level processor, and these are my results. So your results will not be the same when it comes to profit margin, but when you do accumulate value, also consider your taxes and other things like that. Now there's something I want you guys to look out for though. sometimes it is better to sell things at different stages of the processing pyramid. So let's say I heat this up again, and this will be the third stage now. So zinc shards is stage 2. Now let's see what happens when I heat up these zinc shards again. And there you have it, I made zinc ingots. Now it took me 10 zinc shards to make 4 zinc ingots, okay? 10 zinc shards being worth approximately 3K a pop, so that's $30,000 worth of zinc shards I put in to make 4 zinc ingots, okay? Now let's say each zinc ingot is rounding down, so I'm gonna hit 15K per zinc ingot. So 4 times 15 is 60,000 silver. Sorry if I said dollars before. 60,000 silver. And you subtract that from the 30K of melted zinc shards that I put in, and as you would see, that is a 30K 30,000 silver profit from going to that stage again. So we made even more of a profit from the original 20 zinc ores that we made. Okay, so we started off with 20K, and now we have 60K. So I think this explains in a nutshell how processing works for the normal pyramid. Now I'm going to talk about something called the reverse pyramid of processing. Now this is when you take a large amount of resources, not large, a small amount of resources, and as you process, it grows in size. So just like how you take 5 zinc ores, you might get 1 through 4 zinc shards. I'm gonna take 1 wheat, and I might get 1 through 4 wheat flour. So it's going more and more in quantity, using less amount of material. So let's take wheat, and we'll grind it. So there's 1 wheat per proc, okay? And honestly, I recommend any new players to use wheats, corns, and flours for their early levels of making money using processing. Regardless of the procs, you're guaranteed to make money even if you're at low level. And it's a good way, an easy way to make money as a new player who is just beginning to start their node system, who probably have access to these type of grains to grind every night. It's a good way to make money overnight outside of fishing and other options. But I highly recommend to keep your grains for beer, honestly. But it's, like I said, depending on your playstyle, to each their own. This is just, I'm just don't give you guys options in this academy above all else. Okay, guys, so I used 6 wheats. All right, I used 6 wheat. And I gotten 15 flour. Okay, and as you guys can see, I'm not gonna do the math. The wheat is worth less than the flour. I only used 6 of these wheats, and I got 15 of the flour, and the flour is worth more by like about 20% more than the wheat. So as you guys can see, that there is a profit to be made, and I got more items than the amount I initially had. So this type of processing will have your weight limit increase over time, not decrease. Unlike ores, where you have a lot of weight limit at the beginning and you decrease as you melt them down into smaller pieces, this will have the opposite effect. Okay, now let's talk about how to chart market holes for processing. So when you process, you want to make sure that the stage of items are actually sellable to the market. I am not going to talk about trading in this video, just to give you guys a heads up. I am not a big time trader, so you can ask me trade questions. I might do my best to help you, but you're not getting expert advice, so to speak, on trading, because I am not a trading expert. Okay, so let's say iron ore. Okay, let's go check out iron ore, guys. Alright, as you see, iron ore is sold out completely right now, so there's a market for this. There's too much demand for the supply. Okay, let's check out melted iron shards. So whoops, let's type in melted, MELTED. Okay, so melted iron shards is only 2K. That's going to run out pretty soon, so there's a good healthy market for selling it at this stage. Now let's look at iron ingots. Okay, this is stage 3 now. The ingots, iron ingot. Now you have 126,000 of these things, right? And the guy who's selling it at the minimum price still has it up for over 2 days. So this is a clean example of what not to do. So you want to make sure what you're selling for and when you're processing is actually something that's marketable. So you don't want to get to a stage of processing where your item is no longer marketable. So just like in episode 3 of Black Desert Academy, always watch for market holes and market supply and demand, and check before you invest in something that you won't be making money off of anytime soon. But I think that covers the foundation of Black Desert Academy processing for beginners and making money with it. Another thing I want to address is how do you increase your weight limit. Increasing weight limit, there's like several methods. So first method I'm going to talk about is your actual gear. So you can have a weight limit set. You don't need to enchant it. Enchanting it does not affect the weight limit. So the weight limit set for this game is referred to as Hercules. The Hercules might set will give you a bonus of 200 pounds of weight total once all 3 pieces of the set is equipped. There are 4 pieces to this set, so all you need is 3. The 3 pieces that I recommend and I think is the most optimum to get is the helmet, the gloves, and the shoes. The 4th piece of that set, though, of your weight limit set in general, should be Zenith, because that piece alone will give you a 50-pound weight bonus. Even though the armor is heavier, it is still worth the investment to get the 50-pound weight bonus. So Zenith would be the last piece for your chest. So helmet, gloves, shoes, Hercules, armor, Zenith. Hopefully that's pretty clean cut. Now the next thing you want to do to increase your weight limit, so you can hold more items in the AFK process for longer periods of time, is get crystals. There are only crystals for armor, gloves, and shoes that I know of that gives weight limit increases. Okay, so the gloves give you 30, I believe it's called 30 crystals. A boulder, I'm sorry. The gloves give you boulder crystals. Each boulder crystal socketed in your gloves will give you a bonus of 10 pounds per crystal. So 2 crystals total will give you 20 pounds. Now you go to the armor, and I believe it's Cobalinus. That will give you the weight limit increase, and that will be about 20 pounds per. You don't have to get this one specifically. There's a cheaper Cobalinus. It's just all sold out right now. The cheaper one is about 1.6 mil. You can get that and now socket it 2 crystals in, giving you a 40-pound weight limit increase. Now the last is the shoes, and the shoes will be called Histria. Not this one, once again cheaper one. Okay, Ancient Magic Crystal Histria. This was still on a little on the pricey side as well, about 1 mil. Be sure not to break your weight limit set once you socket these crystals in, and you'll get another 40 pounds. So let's add the crystals alone. You get 40 for the shoes, 20 for the gloves, and 40 for the armor. So 40, 40, 80. That's 100 pounds plus the armor set. So that's 300 pounds, 320 plus the Zero. So 320 pounds of bonus weight limit. Now the next item that will increase your weight limit also are known as belts. They're in the accessory options of the marketplace, or you can find them grinding at mains in Medea. But you can find belts anywhere. You can start off with a basic bear's belt for 40 pounds, but I do suggest you getting at least a Gladiator Schultz for the 60 pounds, because it's easy to get. Yeah, I think Gladiator Schultz is the best to get for that. Next best thing is Tree Spirit. Will give you 80 pounds, but come on, that's 30 mil. Let's be realistic. So I think Schultz is the best bet for that. So you get a Schultz, and you get a 60-pound weight limit on top of that. So that will increase your weight limit. Okay, so we already talked about the gear of getting your weight limit up. Let's talk about other things. Let's talk about costumes. Okay, let's talk about the cash shop costume now. Now, another way you can get your weight limit up is by using a cash shop costume. The cash shop costume is under the costume tab. You don't have to do this if you're not a hardcore processor, and I highly recommend you don't if you're a casual processor and you're not doing trade crates or something along the sort. The cash shop costume will look something like a maid's outfit, and if you just want a maid cosplay, might as well buy it for your processor if you want to buy the maid outfit anyway, just for, you know, aesthetic purposes. Don't worry, bros, I won't judge. The dude's costume looks like a tuxedo, girls looks like a maid. Enough said. It also increases your success rate, so it allows you to process faster. But the thing about this that's really OP is that once you get this costume, you don't have to put the items that you want to process into your inventory anymore. So your cap is not based on your actual weight limit of the initial stock. All you have to do is be near your storage, I believe, and you just use the costume, and you can process items directly from your storage without putting any weight onto yourself outside of what you get as a result. This will allow you to process for several hours at a time, and without that costume, processing past a certain amount of time will be damn near impossible. Okay, so talked about the costume. Now let's talk about strength. So what is strength, you might ask if you're a new player? Strength is something you see under your personal information tab. You'll see all these different things you can level up by playing the game in certain aspects. So if you focus on running around, you get a lot of breath. You focus on eating food, you get a lot of health. You focus on carrying a lot of weight, you get a lot of strength. But you can't just carry any weight. You have to carry weight in trade pack items. The way you get trade pack items, you go to the trade vendor, trade manager. Hold on, let me just run to her and see what their official title is. But once you have the actual trade pack items, you would definitely know because your character will be hobbled over. I don't feel like buying one right now. Let's let my toaster of a computer render these characters and maybe we'll see someone. Here we go. Here's someone right here. So this is what you would look like if you have a trade pack. People will auto path these in AFK to increase their weight limit passively. The strength works on a 2-pound maximum weight limit increase per level. Is it worth the time in my opinion? Probably not, but some people it is. It takes a while to grind, but it's up to you guys if you want to do that. Every pound counts, I suppose. But you go to this lady, it's called the trade manager, and you'll buy some of her items in order to get the trade pack, and then you auto path with it. I would recommend not going over 110%, 115, just so you're covering a good amount of distance over time, because it's also a mixture of distance and weight. That is the formula for getting the most EXP for your strength. That being said, I think there's one more method I am missing. What did I not mention? Trade packs, mention that. Oh yeah, food. So you can also get your weight limit up by using food. If I missed another method besides food, please let me know in the comments. I'm probably derping out. I did do my research though, but there's always something I end up missing even though I did some research on it. So the food that you want to use is called Bee's Hive Cookie. There are other weight limit foods, but this is the one that you might find the most often in the marketplace. There are currently none in the marketplace right now, but if you do find one, they'll give you 50 pounds of weight limit for 110 minutes, which will be very useful for holding lots of items to the AFK process. Another thing you can do for AFK processing is to make sure that you have high enough processing level and then go on to higher tier items such as grinding up crystals or making pure iron crystals or other things such as that. I do want to recommend at high levels of processing to make pure iron crystal you need something called metal solvents, which requires traces of savagery, and it will not be a profitable process until you get to artisan 10, which gives you an allowance of 3 procs. But I think that's all I want to cover. Let's actually talk about the silver you make from processing. So when I was processing like wheat and doing an upside down pyramid, which is when my quantity grows from a small amount of resources, I was making about 2 mil in flours from corn flour, wheat flour, and such every night when I sold in the marketplace. I tried heating up ores and selling it, and I ended up making about 1.7 mil for iron ore in profit and 2.4 mil from zinc ore in profit overnight. I don't know anything about hardcore processors because honestly, even though I went to sleep, I was probably only processing for maybe 2 hours at most due to my weight limit only being 12 to 1300 pounds at the time. So without the costume, I do not suggest you becoming a super hardcore processor, but if you have the costume on, there's a possibility for you to make a lot of money without spending any time in game. And if you're a trade creator and you do follow trade create guides and videos, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to make a large amount of money far beyond what I'm telling you right now in this video. So I just want to cover processing. Hopefully if you're a beginner, this kind of gives you an understanding of how processing works. If you do find this video helpful, please leave a like in the comment. If you didn't, tell me why. If you're new to the Micros Gaming community, please subscribe. I'll be doing PvP, life skilling guide videos, and anything of the sorts, comedy, random skits, and satire, whatever. Just subscribe if you're into any of these type of things. So much love, guys. I hope to see you soon. I'm going to be live streaming a lot until I start my new job. So you catch me on the live stream, say what up. And that's just about it, boys. Much love, everyone. Peace.